Tired of doom scrolling? Time for a dose of awesome. 5 Good News Stories is your happy place, where underdogs become champions, crossing guards become legends, and impossible dreams come true. We're serving up 5 fresh reasons to believe in humanity. From world records to cute animal stories, to that guy who turned his pizza shop into a homeless shelter. These are the stories that'll make you go, wait, what? That's amazing! Ready for your good news fix? Follow 5 Good News Stories wherever you get your podcasts, because let's face it, we could all use more awesome in our lives. The number 5 Good News Stories.
It is the world's most secretive election. When a pope dies, ancient traditions begin. A silver hammer, a destroyed ring, over 100 cardinals locked away from the world, choosing the next leader of 1 billion faithful. White smoke. The path to a new pope, from Calaroga Shark Media, wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Bert Kreischer's special's out on Netflix today. It is called Lucky, and Bert says I'm a glass half full MFer. I feel very lucky to be alive and working at this point, he told Variety when asked about the state of the industry. TV and movies are about to explode in Hollywood in a really fun and crazy way. He believes comedians are entering an era of financial independence and creative freedom. Dudes, they're already there, except those Netflix paychecks are pretty nice. Let's be honest, Bert, I'm sure you could put something up on YouTube, but let's not act like we don't like the Netflix paychecks. Bert says, it's like the gold rush right now. I look at Hollywood and I see massive opportunities coming around the corner for all of us. Be careful, ask the TV series producers what happens when you tear down the establishment. I would kiss Netflix's ring, Bert. Be careful. Variety said that they noticed watching Bert's special, there were shirtless men in the audience. Bert said it started happening when I was doing clubs. Dudes would rip their shirts off and watch the whole show shirtless. When I did Red Rocks for the 3rd time, we had a top-off camera that was shooting the way they would women ripping their shirts off, or a kiss cam. We did that for the whole arena tour. We just go to big dudes who rip their shirts off. Not one camera ever hit a woman. Bert says, I idolized Jimmy Buffett. Would go to his shows, and there's something really cool about getting lost in a group of fans, seeing them dress up like crazy. Yes, Buffett shows were fun. I never thought the thing I'd have was going to be that big, obviously, but it's kind of cool that I get a bunch of overweight dudes with body positivity ripping their shirts off. These are guys who wear a shirt to go swimming, you know? Bert said, I wish I knew my brand better. It's hard to see from the inside of the forest. I think I give them permission to party. That's a good name for tour. Permission to party. That's a really good name for tour. I think I just named my next tour. I've always been the guy who, like, at the kid's birthday party, the dads will come to me and be like, if you open a beer, we can all have a beer. I'm also unapologetically in love with my wife. Not cheating on your wife is cool. My fans are guys who feel lucky to have the chick they're with, lucky to have the life they have, lucky to have the kids they have, and that one night is the night to cut loose. Love this interview. We'll pick at this at the next few days. The Hollywood Reporter caught up with Andrew Schulz. They were talking about audiences and, where do you steer your comedy? And they pointed out Nate Bargatze, who subscribes to the steer clear of anything that offends philosophy. Andrew said, exactly, but I don't know. Trump is a specific thing. There are a lot of people who can be critical of platforming somebody like Trump, and they say they'd never do it, but you also didn't have the opportunity to. So you really don't know what you do until you're given that opportunity. And yeah, I don't know. I had 3 things that I wanted to tell the person that might be the leader of the free world. They were 3 things that are important to me. One was I wanted him to say on camera that he would protect IVF, and he did. Another was stopping not all the foreign wars, but if there's ones that are senseless, that are just to line the pockets of the military-industrial complex, that maybe we could curb that. And then the last one was some empathy for illegal immigrants that aren't breaking the law, like maybe a pathway to citizenship. Doesn't look like he listened to me much on that one. I'm not saying I have any impact on him, but if you have the opportunity to be impactful and you choose not to do it for whatever reason because you're concerned about, I don't know, what your friends or your supporters might think, you're allowed to do that. But for me, I just thought it was something that I could sleep at night doing, and I'm proud of myself for doing it. I agree with everything he said there. Kelsey Cook spoke to Vanya Land about the difference between opening for Jim Norton at the Wilbur and headlining the Wilbur. She explained there's a level of pressure with either situation when opening for someone is where you want to make sure you're doing your job and setting them up for as much success as possible. But there's something extra special about headlining because it's your crowd. So there's a little bit more built-in confidence in a sense that people came to see me. To have the chance to be at the Wilbur and have it be my crowd is just really cool. She talked about her current material and said, I've had some things happen in the last year that have become part of the material in a more natural way. I stopped drinking last year, so I talk about being sober, being diagnosed with depression, and I go a little bit into my mom's dementia. I don't go into it as much as I did in Mark Your Territory, but those themes are sort of connected here, and I'm just trying to find the silver linings in all of it and bring humor to it. I feel really fortunate because The Hustler was received so well, and that helped my ticket sales boom, and I was touring so much and got right to work on the next thing and was able to turn around a lot of the new material and get it to a good place. It was also exciting to have this new added fan base for me to work the Mark Your Territory material out to. That hour gave me more confidence and permission to just be myself and talk about the things I really wanted to talk about. Opening up and talking about depression especially, it's been cool to have people come up to me after shows and thanking me for talking about my struggles with it and antidepressants, intrusive thoughts, and all that. It's definitely not as taboo as a topic as it used to be, but I do hope for anyone dealing with any of those issues, they can walk away feeling seen. Matt Friend tells the Chicago Sun-Times if you go see him, it's something for everybody. Old references, newer references, everything from Milton Berle to Timothy Chalamet. Friend got famous walking around New York City. He'd encounter celebrities, people like John Oliver, Sebastian Maniscalco, and talk show host Andy Cohen. He would take videos of himself impersonating them. He'd upload them to TikTok. No celebrities, he said, ever told him to get lost. Matt explains, I'm not ambushing people. It's out of respect and admiration, and then it kind of organically happens. He can't quite explain how he does what he does. He says, I'll walk down the street and King Charles comes out. I don't really think about it. It's just sort of part of my life. He told a story about meeting a representative from the Obama team when a friend was in D.C. for the Correspondents' Dinner. A few months later, Obama's team reached out to meet in Chicago before the DNC. Matt says, I'm like freaking out. Suddenly, I find myself in a room with Obama, and I'm doing all the greatest hits. It was an insane moment. He's not worried about cancel culture. I don't fear that. I just do what I always think is right. If you're living your life like that, fearful of one side or the other, you're not going to go far. Michael Ian Black sometimes gets called a progressive and says, I don't really think of myself in those terms. They feel sort of self-limiting. But anybody who follows me or knows anything about me would call me a liberal progressive. Some have called me a communist, a term I would not apply to myself. He does add that we're living in a fascist hellscape. We're in a very catastrophic way, re-examining everything about the nation. There's a way to do that. I do think we're long overdue for a constitutional convention. I think it would be an excellent exercise for the nation to participate in. I think it could have potentially very beneficial outcomes if people take it seriously. If you go see him these days, he's not going to make fun of Trump. He says, give me an Obama, give me a Jimmy Carter, give me a Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was funny. Trump, not so much. Felipe Esparza said George Lopez and Paul Rodriguez have always been the coolest people to be. They're the kind of people who always have my back, even though they don't get along. But who cares now because I'm friendly with both of them. George Lopez took me to World Series Game 5 against the Astros, and we were right behind the Dodger dugout. I was high-fiving Kershaw from my seat, bro. Paul Rodriguez gave me good advice twice. He was the first comic to give me a lot of money and take me on the road. He even bought me a suit. Paul Rodriguez taught me this. Be nice to everybody because you're going to meet the same people on the way up in your career as you will on the way down. That was the first thing. When I started, there were a lot of Latino comedians who would never play Latin rooms. They'd never walk in a room where their whole audience was Mexican-American in LA because they wanted to cross over to a wider audience. They wanted to perform at the Improv, the Comedy Store, the Ice House, so they never wanted to go to the East Side to perform. They'd go, nah, bro, I don't do those beaner rooms. So they lost out on a lot of fans by not going to those rooms. Paul Rodriguez said, you know what, man? Don't worry about crossing over to a mainstream audience or white people. If you're funny, like really funny, they'll cross over to you. That was the second thing, and that's been the model for my career. Grab your phone. It's time for March college basketball. You know how that rolls. Yeah, I'm working from home. Yeah, I'm totally not watching the games. I'm totally working. Nothing beats March basketball. Bring the fun of a bracket to every game day by making entries on Underdog. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can play it now in your state. Do you want to win up to 1,000 times your money? You can with Underdog. Who do you go for? Do you like the favorites or do you like riding, no pun, one of those underdogs? You know, a 16, that's always fun. And it's always fun to have some extra interest in a game. Pick a player and go higher or lower on one of their stats, including points, assists, rebounds, and more. Underdog has all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You can create entries with all basketball selections or mix and match across other sports. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So turn $1 into $1,000 just with your hoops knowledge. You've heard me talk about this. I'm in the comfy chair. I've got my phone. I'll put on a game. I pick a player. I go higher or lower. I think for basketball, I'm kind of a lower guy. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code DCN to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code DCN. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus credits instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus, Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus, Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Void where prohibited. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP, 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Underdog app, promo code DCN. Mo Amer was recognized by the Arab American National Museum. The mayor of Dearborn honored Mo with a framed tribute for his contributions to storytelling and representation. The mayor said, "The way you've shattered stereotypes has opened up doors for us as public servants, as people who want to give back to the community. Oftentimes, it does take the comedian, it does take the notable actor, it does take the individual who's speaking to our narrative, who understands our narrative because they grew up in it, stewed in it, and understood it better than anyone. So on behalf of the entire city of Dearborn, I want to say thank you and welcome home." If you watch Mo on Netflix, good series, you should watch it. Mo is often seen carrying a small bottle of his mother's homemade olive oil. Mo explains, "Some people carry hot sauce, I carry olive oil, but beyond that joke, the bottle is a symbol of his Palestinian heritage and the traditions that anchor him." Batul Ajin is a Palestinian-American who grew up in Ann Arbor and is a fan of Mo and explains, "So often we're depicted so negatively in Western media. Either our stories are about war or we're the enemy, but I think this show depicted what it's like to grow up with the trauma of understanding the family history of occupation and war, but also trying to find happiness. You don't see a lot of Arabs in popular media being happy or laughing, but the show did that really well, letting you laugh, but also reminding you of the struggle, what it means to be Palestinian, but also the beauty." The Laughing Buddha Comedy Festival is back for its third year, baby. It features the best emerging stand-up comics in New York City. The festival takes place today through Friday, April 4th at the St. Mark's Comedy Club. Laughing Buddha will be giving away more than $5,000 in cash, including a grand prize of $3,000 and a year's worth of spots to the winning comedian. This year, 120 comedians will be chosen to showcase a diverse lineup who will compete in front of fans, industry pros, and comedy legends. Winners will be decided by a panel of judges and audience responses. Each show will feature professional hosts and headliners, including Jeff Lawrence, Kevin Dombrowski, Alexis Carbano, and more. Judges will include comedy club owners and industry professionals. Eric Walsh won the festival in 2024 and said, "Winning the festival has been a game changer for me. A year of spots has been invaluable for developing my material and growing as a performer. It was incredibly well organized and gave me the opportunity to perform alongside some seriously talented comedians." That sounds like a lot of fun. And looking ahead, get this one on your calendar. Comedy is going to have its own film festival. The inaugural New York Comedy Film Festival will take over Asylum, New York City, February of 2026. Write this down. NYCFF celebrates both seasoned creators and emerging voices in comedy. The CEO says, "When things are going good, people want to laugh. When things are going bad, people need to laugh." The festival will feature red carpet arrivals, world premiere film screenings, TV pilots, original digital content, private parties, and live performances, including a special live celebrity table script read of a beloved comedy classic. It is the New York Comedy Film Festival, February 15th through the 22nd, 26. And that is your comedy news for today. Go watch Bert Kreischer, will ya?
It is the world's most secretive election. When a pope dies, ancient traditions begin. A silver hammer, a destroyed ring, over 100 cardinals locked away from the world, choosing the next leader of 1 billion faithful. White Smoke, the path to a new pope, from Calaroga Shark Media, wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're fascinated by UFOs, aliens, ghosts, demons, cryptid creatures like Bigfoot, Chupacabra, and Mothman, then I have the show for you, The Paranormal 60 with Dave Schrader. Each week, we investigate different claims of the supernatural and try to shed light into the darkness, bringing you the top guests and experts from around the world. Enter the fray. Then join me, Dave Schrader, your host, as we investigate all aspects and claims of the supernatural and paranormal. Listen on all of your favorite podcast platforms: Good Pods, TuneIn, Pocket Casts, Deezer, Player FM, Amazon Music, Audible, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. The answers to life's biggest questions and miracles and mysteries awaits you. So join me each week 2 brand new episodes of the best in paranormal podcasting, The Paranormal 60 with Dave Schrader.